Hello and welcome to my short series on using a bread making machine. I'm not showing any brand loyalty because there are lots of bread making machines available, but the one I use is a Morphy Richards fast bake machine. If I lift the lid, you'll see inside that it has a pan with a handle so you can lift it out. This gets very hot, so you must always wear an oven glove. To get it out, you have to twist it on a diagonal to the left. I'll explain why later. That then lifts out. Next, you'll have the instrument panel. This lists all the different recipes you can use, and they're all numbered. You can do cakes, bread. You can also do jam in a bread maker, which a lot of people don't know. Then you've got the instrument buttons themselves. You've got timing buttons, so you can time it. You can, of course, set this so when you go to bed at night, the bread maker can switch on in the middle of the night, and you have a nice hot loaf when you get up in the morning. I've never actually used this facility because I usually bake the bread when I'm up and about. Next, you've got the colour button. You can choose light, medium or dark for your crust. Then you've got your loaf size button. You can use a pound, 1.5 pounds or £2 loaf. I usually just do the largest. You've got the start stop button, and then there's a menu button to choose one of those numbered recipes. Right, the next thing I must explain is these machines, when they're going, they rock rather a lot. So please, please, please do not have it close to the front of a kitchen worktop, because it could rock away and fall off. I have it on this sturdy little oak table, and it sits there permanently. That's a little safety thing in case you've got children in the kitchen. You don't want a bread maker to fall on their head. Right, next we have the ingredients. Today I'm going to make a sun-dried tomato loaf using sun-dried tomatoes available from any supermarket. I'm not showing any brand loyalty here with these ingredients. Lots of other brands are available from whichever supermarket you choose to go to. Right. Oh, the other thing is the bread pan. In the bottom you have to place this paddle. I'll explain why later. Right. You start off with water. It has to be tepid, not too hot, because it'll kill the yeast, and you don't want the yeast to start acting too quickly. Now these ingredients must go in the order that I've got them laid out. That's because you've got to have the yeast go in last. You don't want the yeast mixing with liquids too early before the bread maker starts. So here we go again. Water, dried skim milk, oil. This could be vegetable oil or sunflower oil. It really doesn't matter. Olive oil if you prefer. Salt, dried mixed herbs, strong white bread flour, again sun-dried tomatoes, and then finally the yeast. And if you cut open a packet of yeast and you want to keep it fresh, use a clothes peg like this and fold it over, and it just keeps the yeast nice, dry and fresh. I don't know whether you watched my previous mini-series on making soda bread, but I was actually measuring out the buttermilk for the soda bread, and I couldn't see the markings on the pitcher or jug because it's a clear one, and you put something white in these things and it's virtually impossible to see without a microscope what the measurements are. And I explained in the film I must go and get myself a dark jug with dark markings so I can see what I'm doing. So this weekend that's exactly what I did. I got myself a nice dark jug, red in my case because it matches my kitchen. I'm a stickler for aesthetics. Nice dark markings, no problem at all. So I got this jug for about 79p in one of these bargain shops. So if you take my advice, get one of these and throw this one in the bin because it's totally useless. Right, the paddle is hinged, and the reason for this is it rotates inside the pan when the machine starts, and it obviously needs your dough. At the end of the cycle, the machine rotates the opposite way, and then the paddle folds down so it's not sticking up in your finished loaf. And then as it does that, the pan rotates on a diagonal, so you can see through the window on the top of the lid that it's actually done that, and you know that the paddle has worked and mixed your bread properly. And after you've lifted your bread out, you prise this out with a small, thin, sharp implement. I use a kebab skewer, but try not to scratch it because it's supposed to be non-stick, as is the bread pan. Never use an abrasive pad on the bread pan, otherwise you'll ruin the non-stick surface. I just use a nice soft cloth with some washing liquid, and that's fine. And also, if you lightly oil the bread pan before you use it again, it helps the loaf slide out when it's finished. Anyway, I'll show you how to put together all these ingredients in my second episode. So till then, take care of yourselves and goodbye.